Greetings, sisters and brothers. This is Milton Alimadi, publisher of Black Star News, adjunct professor of African history, John Jay College here in New York City. This is just brief commentary. I send Pan-African greetings, sisters and brothers all over the world. Recently, we saw the collapse of the dictatorship in Algeria, when people power came out in massive numbers on the streets in Algiers and drove from power the pretend president, Abdelaziz Bouteflika, who had been confined to a wheelchair since he suffered a stroke and yet was still pretending to be president of that great country, the country that gave us the FNL and the liberation from France. Many of us became familiar with the Algerian struggle through that great film, The Battle of Algiers. And then after that, of course, we saw the changes in Sudan when dictator Omar Hassan al-Bashir, been there for 28 years, was also driven from power by people power protests. They came out, they sat in front of the headquarters of the army and said they would not stop their protests until Bashir was driven from office. Now, of course, all eyes are on Uganda. Dictator Museveni, the US puppet, British puppet, has been there for 33 years, knows that he's next. And Ugandans have escalated the resistance against his regime. And he knows that too. That's why recently he's been much more desperate, arresting Dr. Besigye, arresting Bobby Wine. These are all acts of desperation. At the end of the day, the Ugandan armed forces and the security services are going to side with the people of Uganda. They know that the youth is the future of Uganda and not an aged dictator who is completely politically and intellectually bankrupt and financially also very corrupt. He and Foreign Minister Kutesa have now both been discredited internationally, particularly after the trial in the US federal court, where Patrick Ho was convicted and he's now been sentenced to 3 years in prison for bribing General Museveni $500,000, and Sam Kutesa $500,000 as well. Neither of them, both of them, they're no longer taken seriously by any serious leaders around the world, particularly after that trial. So Ugandans, let's keep the resistance. Let's escalate the resistance. As you know, on Friday there was a protest in Washington, D.C. There's one being planned for Tuesday in London. I was fortunate to meet sisters and brothers in London who were planning that protest during my recent visit to London. We here in the diaspora are dedicated and committed, and we will support sisters and brothers in Uganda. If there's any issues of documented atrocities, pictures, videos, audio, any documentation, please send it to us. My email is malimadi@gmail.com so we can disseminate it to the right individuals and organizations here in the United States. Stay strong, stay committed. Change is imminent in Uganda. Peace and blessings.